Hi everyone, and welcome to this tutorial on how to use the new GAP Tree Owner sign-up sheet. We're going to start out with some basic information. Tree address. So this is where you would put in your address, which is your home where your tree is. For my neighborhood, this is wherever you live, where your house is, where your tree is. So I will just select downtown. Has GAP harvested from this property before? This you will just answer. If you've participated in GAP before and we've harvested your tree, you would say yes. And if not, just put no. Is your tree sprayed? I'm going to say yes. Next up, we're going to select the trees that we have. So I have one small pear tree, so I'm going to choose one. And then for these, we can leave blank because I don't have an apple tree or cherry tree, apricot, or plum. And if you have another type of fruit tree that is not listed above, please share below and include the quantity of trees. So if you have another fruit tree that is not one of these fruits, you can just type in, let's say, one peach tree. If you have a farm or garden, please share the type of produce below. If you have a large farm property, please share the size. So for example, I'll just say that I have 4 tomato plants. And this is an option for you. If you'd like us to glean your vegetables, we can definitely do that. Next, we're going to go ahead and record the size of the tree. So how tall is your tallest fruit tree? For example, we have this lovely photo of myself standing next to our 2 ladders that we have at GAP. This is basically just to help us estimate the height of the ladders needed, and mainly it just helps volunteers to gauge their comfort level with heights and ladder use. So in our emails to volunteers, we always mention how tall the tree is. A lot of people don't like climbing on ladders, either for mobility issues or simply for their comfort levels. So my pear tree is quite small, so no ladder is needed, shorter than 8 feet. And the majority of the fruit can be picked. Do your best guess on this. So from the ground standing or a small step stool, that is accurate for me. And then we're going to go ahead and estimate when the fruit will be ripe for picking. So this is really important for us to sort of determine our schedule and make sure that we are getting to everybody on a timely manner. So if you're not sure when your fruit will ripen or how to tell, check out our picking guideline. This is a link to a PDF on our website, which is a new guideline that we've developed to kind of figure out when our fruit trees are going to be ready and what that looks like. So pears are usually later in the season. I'm going to go off my memory from last year and say that my pears will be ready at the end of September. And then how much fruit does your tree, farm, or garden produce every season? These yellow bins are our typical GAP bins, but we also included a milk crate just for example for smaller trees. So my pear tree produces about 40 pounds of fruit. Now we're on to the photo. So please attach an image of your fruit tree below. This helps us to gauge the landscape of your yard for safety and accessibility purposes, as well as to determine how many volunteers will be suitable. So this is definitely very important for us so that we can schedule the right amount of volunteers to come to the property and glean comfortably. So I'm going to go ahead and add a file. We can hit browse and then photo library. We're going to select this photo of my pear tree and it will upload and attach. Fantastic. Now we're going to go ahead and read our tree owner agreement. This is a new feature that we have. So it's going to open in your Google Drive as a PDF. If you don't have a Google Drive, it will still open. We're going to read this through thoroughly and we're going to go back, return to the sign-up sheet and click agree. Now we're on to the last question, which is the photo release. So you're going to read this thoroughly. This is essentially if you are comfortable with us taking photos of your fruit tree or the volunteers in the yard gleaning the tree, which we might use for social media. So you can consent or not consent, and we will take note of that and make sure that when we visit your property, we will not take photos if you are uncomfortable with this. So I'm going to say that I consent, but again, you are completely welcome to say that you don't. And now we're going to go next. And now it takes you to this page. So thank you for registering your tree, farm, or garden. You're going to read this through And this is very important. Once your tree, farm, or garden is active, it is up to you to please email us when your fruit is 7 to 10 days away from being ripe. So contacting us via email helps us to respond to you in a more organized and efficient way. This is our way of keeping track of everyone and making sure that whoever needs to get accounted for is accounted for, and we can cover more ground in the season. So please read this thoroughly, and of course you are always welcome to donate to the program. You can click the link below to visit our Canada Helps page, and you can donate however much you like. We really appreciate it. It helps us to keep this program running. So from there, once you have read all this information, submit, and with that, you are registered for GAP. Thank you.